Alor na Pórca áitetá captain na Fórne Bill Maher agus príomh scórálaí na Fórne John McGrath. Gá arú freisin atá dianta éidir in na Gaillimh a bhullach Gorman siglafic Harú Canis le Éanna Burke.
That evening against Wexford. Up front, no, they had the breeze up, but up front to have serious forwards. Jason Flynn is there for his third year. He's picked wing forward. I have a feeling that he might start full forward. Big Michael Mullins is about 6'4", very good under the high ball, good to lay it off. He could be starting wing forward. There's a lad called centre forward called Young Dolan. Does a lot of work. Two corner forwards are very, very good as well. Their forwards are better, I think, quality-wise than their backs, and probably much the same from Tip. It promises to be a very high-scoring game. After saying that, you never know what Jungles is going to do. But I think they're two very quality teams.
And I suppose, from a Galway point of view, it'd be nice to have the two teams in the All-Ireland final.
It'd be great. Like, you know, we're kind of used to the minor team in there. It's great to have the senior team in there. But look, it'd be fantastic. Like, you know, and like a lot of emphasis gone back on the seniors now. But these minors, Jerry was saying earlier on, have been coming through and through for the last 9 or 10 years. Good quality players. They might not make great seniors, but there is a lot of quality hurlers around. And the lads saying in the All-Ireland final, they would have all won minor and under 21 All-Ireland medals as well.
Not everybody will make it to under 21 level even, or even to senior level, right? So I mean, what you get is maybe 3 or 4 players that will go on to represent the county at senior level, and I mean that's Tipperary no different to any other team. I mean, in the Munster Championship this year, is probably their best match was against Waterford. They won 225 to 12 points. They looked very, very comfortable that day. The Munster final in Páirc Uí Chaoimh was a bit of a washout. I mean, for the minor game there was very, very heavy rain, so you don't know the true from. But well, I mean, Cyril's saying right. I mean, it's great to see Galway in.
Canchin Pekisúsig Éanna Burke. Boston Shusalar, Sean Collins. Cansa Chunya, Idir O'Brien Malloy, Atá Scufanta. Austin She Yesh, Canchin Bulta, Eg Malloy, Agus Tus, Intach, Eg na Gaillimh, Brian Malloy, Leshin Kate, Gorgon Cliffe.
Well, on Lee Road, Sean Collins and Muckady and Cunha, Agus Brian Malloy, no devotion Lee Road, Hope, couple of second, Agus, the extra trust, Agus,
Eg Paul Killeen. Agus cean scuil sa eile ach chosins gama ón na Tipperary ach spásan seo do Brian Murta Scilálan cean eile isteach go dtí Malloy contúirteach go dtí seo seansan is ag Flynn cool ítach ag Jason Flynn cruthie ag Brian Malloy agus sin túsítach ag na Gaillimh híana níl tád ag na Tipperary go fóil.
Just Lee Road orders Dr. O'Brien Merton agus Anna Gowild san O'Brien Malloy agus Anna Fasan Chinish Dr. Jason Flynn agus Antahi ag Coolúnta gan son Cousintor Macodo bit of Coolquiley in a shakas vehigir against
Thomas Hamill Leshin Glana Canella Fortinish ag Cahill Jack Shelley Forte ag Stephen Cahill agus show Ruher Bra Girian Shane Greener and Gumon agus score all in Stephen Cahill for Shan Can Derna Chamu Ni Ornisha Ain Watu na Nurshin agus score Bra Pass Dasama Kanishkiti O'Brien Wilson Hussins Kama on the Gaillimh Agus in Sean Sweeney in East Harvey Fekala for who's the Himera Bultishach and Ishik Heffernan, Emil Cool, Wilsha Crean, Manan Goel Shin score all in on Yachuli Erclay, Barry Heffernan, Agus Anish, Neil Atterup, a Coffwinse.
Sean scores on Barry Heffernan, son of Glihan Erclay, Agus Rinna Tibberdon Gaman, son the Comanche in the road, Vishay Free Fruach, the Comanche, if the cardiac Michael Mullins, I give it to Glihan Erclay.
Heffernan. Can Mahamela Cool, Cahill bar in the Gaillimh hit the mark and shot that to sheet of Cool. Agus Tasha Toki egg, Stephen Cahill. Agus in Ishtan the Tipperary, Gutsovid Ashla Glyffe. Made to go to button of Cool bar in the Gaillimh, ach, and Cool Toki egg, Stephen Cahill.
Yeah, well, Dibrick Tipperdorna Shin Anawan, son the hook sheet, Pocamak, Garrett and son Agus Kyung Fad and son on Glihan Clay Agus.
Local to Shees, Aina Burkish the Hinshin. Becky Susanish. Éanna Burke agus Glanta go maithaige. Tá Boston seo Ty Gallagher isteach go dtí John McGrath Salar agus John McGrath Hurling Noel X-Points Gwyl sé héin in lan Ruddy Murray and Borca Croky agus tá na Tipperary ar eis agus iad Dina Harbor.
Yeah, Rishan Shin or Fortune on Lee Road and son on Glana just Dibrick she Stackary and Laurie agus John McGrath talked to Stack agus the VRA Vulan and Lloyd agus Anna Happy Fadak and a score and August Inish Tashi Go Cooling Kumtasi Trish Drohosu
Iantach o Tom Fox Éanna Burke atá go mór san action freshen is in the Gaillimh Nish a tíocht amach. Sinna O'Mara sin pass glóte amach nish go dtí Dara Dolan. Deis scoráil an seo. Agus tá sé tócaí go das. Ag Dara Dolan ó cheapach a tagal agus ní leat a baríisteach 1-1.
Agus just Kyle Chanson a dús an smacht a chuir an líród a godig sé smachtar ó húsa sin
Gur spás a chruthú dómhéin ach siad Éine Burke blocail sa síos a ríist agus go leor blocail feici ana húsna na himar a seo. Tá sin dínta go dasan is ag Mark McCarthy agus thug sé scór go hálinn a chonig sé sin i le go chosintá blocail thúcail má agus gáfuointe atar a baríist.
Mar a dúirt son an a bhloch Island son agus nó an si go Macárig an son bhí sé de ceannaige just seasamh fear cúpla second agus caiise staach ar a héamh láidir an son agus sin cúlín eile is gá cúlín chun tosa go ríise.
Tom Fox háil sé an slitter takeíocht fáilte aige ó Haig Gallagher agus seorúthar má bhí a chusatíomh mógan ó Éine Burke. Sinna O'Mara ceann sin builte ar an trasna ag Ronan O'Mara agus ard scór ón bheartá gimmert samó an eic le lár na parca.
Dimig sé amach an son beidir chun smachta chuir Barry Heffernan san agus chuig sé díreach siar go dtí lár na parca chun tast.
John McGrath mar sin. An ceann sin builte go slachtúir ag John McGrath ar an trasna agus sin is
agus Brian Malloy an oid rúd sér agus duine chalís sin pliar ní a bhíon gáile sin áireach anna hen an galibhan is cúdín dáil.
Agus gáfuointe is
an galibhan is má tá fearád a choirim na ceanóige anna hen an sin líró dáil.
Ceann sin iste ho Sweeney agus beagná a seansan sin mar a dúirs tú ag Mike Mullins ach. Agus dead Atlantic Tom Fox a sin dínta go má ag Tiberdáran ach deisian seo a lár na parca ag Cathal Mannion. Hasín be goid go dtí Ronan O'Mara agus a bin cean eile fáte agus sin péide an is fáte ag Ronan O'Mara sa glyfe agus tá na fórne chum.
Agus sin anna chuúín an son timppel 5 méadar amach nó mar sin agus sin an dara ceann ag ón bhad amach agus anna scóran is agus an dair an chora mar a dúirtú Garíach an galibh tatar eisteach sa clé le chuig na méid an úsan is agus tá mrán den na bhrisna á bhuacanta cágus dí go ní tá sé tatasteach me sem Ronan O'Mara a móhan son ag an lelína tá sé ggéanna go má.
Agus ná daoine i dermad an cluife mór mílteach sin ag tíocht i bhfuair meach ag leabhar tar éis trí Tiberdáran agus Kilchunne.
Lehama beag an dímáir ar an manistóir faoi sin.
An sin tucaí go hálinn ag Ronan O'Mara tá spáint gúil se an scór ní aimse man se spás fósa dulchan cín tastas tucaí nuair se aige a Dara Dolan agus Dolan le iirecht atá cura ar an trasna aige agus gaiile ar eis chun tosaí. Haig Gallagher a seasalár inis agus na tubair gira go leor tasal gear úsáid ach John McGrath inis le spás amach roimhe seans beidir an seo ag an fersa chúine ceall sabbat go híonach an úr. Ceann áir deile i méil a chúl inis de síos begus ús an is ag Brian Murta agus an is seans ag Jason Flynn ag go le méil a chúl sabbat go híonach an úr sin ag Paul Maher. Gáfuointe fáte ag John McGrath go dtí seo agus an ceann sin builte bhac níos fearraige agus sin córa go imreoir má a chur an drochceán na mú. Is an féidir le aon ceann go na fórne dulchan tosa ribh bhrise Bill Maher an is agus sudar faoi seo ruthíontach is seach go dtí a chumrád é sa lárin sin McGrath agus feildaíonta sa lárin sin agus buid drochceán.
Well, bhí sé fannacht leis an sin caiimé agus ní mar an bhí sé ggéir a bhúla le taobh an sanach na
dúirnacha echas mu le John McGrath agus a faointe tócaí go hánéisce aige cheiricína lug fáite.
Yeah, it's a classic really. The scores maybe not coming that in plentiful supply, but like there's great hurling. very good skill, great kind of passing, 30 or 40 yard passes, great blocking, Blake hook and everything is in it. And maybe the high scoring isn't in it, but like both sets of forwards are very, very dangerous, and both sets of backs are under pressure all day. It is a great game. Galway a point on. They made a great start, 1-1 after 3 minutes to a goal and a point up to no score, but Tip showed the quality to come back into it, and then it kind of went stalemate for a while, up and down the pitch with no one scoring. Both sets of forwards can show that they can score. Now Tip maybe at the moment maybe trying to walk the ball into the net too much, that 2 or 3 good chances of goals, didn't get the 3 chances, didn't score any goals. Now maybe got a point of one. They're trying to walk it in too much. Galway that little bit more clinical. If Galway get more ball up front, they could win it, but at the same time, sitting here now, I suppose, at half-time, Tip are slight favourites, even though I have the feeling if Galway come into a bit more, get ball up, they should win the game.
Whether, Jerry, you're a Tip fan, a Galway fan, or indeed a neutral, you had to admire the skills that you saw in that. I mean, it would do justice to as any senior match you'd see.
You just took the words out of my mouth there, Michael, because it resembles more a senior match in terms of tactics and skill, in terms of blocking and hooking and tackling and precision, stick passing. Everything you'd have in a senior game you have here. So it's totally different to the normal minor match, which is usually very, very open and very free scoring. This is more like what's played now at senior, where blocking and hooking and tackling and scrambling for the ball have become the absolute vital if you want to.
Clehannagus, Brian Malloy, Yera Eggfall and Shelevach through Tipperary and Count to shoot agus Count Coltega. Bruce and Asha, Fortinishig, Dara Dolan, Agus Dolan Roher. Shan Scorola Egg, Dara Dolan, Agus Shin, Tusma Kura, Eggadara Lalish, Nagali V, Tashid Kurum, Agus 3 points in Ishfortig, Dara Dolan Siglefa.
Yeah, Roher Dirk, she's 3 law, Brilliantson and Shoyan Kate Cooling though. Sadara La Gawkyong fight against the Kate La Hagasan.
Great Trasnach and Kansha. Ordu, Agus Kyan, Trasna in the Parka. Well, Tashansaku Gafol. Agus Stephen Cahill, Agus Tasha Toki, Cahill, Agus Hina Do, Forte, Egan. Off Winter Fortega, Kyan, O'Wallisir, Paidenish, O'Wallisir, Agus Ta, Lafornia, Corabadish, Agus. Irashlish in action, Marshin, Agus John McGrath. Kyanshin, Bultiga Mahiga, Agus Bultiga Creen, Agus Ta Nismu, Guluklan to Hebrador and Inishistag, Namar of Visi Kedla, Agus by Sheets Hosteleshin.
Well, Agus Ta Gakyong fight to go Hinele.
And Grian Taki Machanish, and shot again Norris, Shanash, Sean Sweeney. Gone to Agus Tasha Stuppish Hinshin Gama, Paul Marr. Tábhacht Achanish and Shelva Grúchtá agus Tasha Fortinish and John McGrath. Ag tíocht the Shasta Glyphic more pass Brownish. Should I Mark McCarthy? TV Shihota. Chance McCarthy. Oh, shit, Coley into her fan. Fought to head Mark McCarthy. He megara shall pass the Hortka Stephen Cahill. Hogshe Ragrach their head. Agus Shin Cool. Don Kate Scott. Yeah,
well, Rich, Anna Dummy exciting Dullishtak agus Neither Chance and Galavokans and Dulkiga. Anna Willanson just. Rinne sé íireach go raibh sé chun é fast in láh an san agus sin de rúgséir agus isteach cúne annach chúra fear. Solas an léin isisiid in na fórne cheir faointe agus Bill Maher go húdar osach an isisiid dul chun tusa. Pass breach a fada le Shelley Schanzer score agus an éistá na Tipperary ar bhain amach sin scóiríonnta fáte ag Jack Shelley a cruthia. Sean Collins a bunkach táidir leis pass a thuirtamach a fada le Jason Flynn. Agus tá pointe breach fáte ag Flynn ceanna bhí tastal an sa Cathal Mannion gaiile chur ar an nunsaí ríist sis sa chúine cosanta go má ag Michael Breen ach tá seán de fóil ar ríist go Mannion ag tuairsfaí scór agus in isníla Cool is in the fórne an dá faoin sa dearnach fáitigh na gaiile bhí an cean sin ag Cathal Mannion. Well, an Galway tucked the rash tax Sinclair agus on the day tucked the bark and issue issue for Fedo. Coltse. Agus a sin tóki go híntach an sin ag Darragh O'Donoghue. Leor skillin na feici ní mór an scór ní le tamla nus. Anis beidir lehans ag Darragh Dolan. Agus tá an cean sin chur ar an trasna aige an 3 scór dearnach anis fáte ag Gallia. Well, Anna Vlúr himar an son ní raibh mar an patan leis an sin bhí sé just sús agus síos an fárc an son agus tíine a bhúla arás an seo ach Anna Gháil san éar an sin óibhre dó an son Darragh O'Donoghue agus ón Vlúr himar an son ag tata nuas an son sa fárc fuair an galamh cúlíine le an ceathrú ceannis ag Darragh Dolan.
Éine Burke. Through pass a bhí on. Rinne siad go maith. Ceann eile sús drón na dosiach ní raibh bring ceann sin amach dómh. Michael Breen le pass as the Chasselar. Sinna John McGrath trasn on the park Rishi. The Curtu Gilor gonna passing sin trasn the park. O'Donoghue ní gois amach ar an tíb lína. Nes Shanson shot. Ag Tom Fox. Ag tuairt faoi scór agus tá sé Fox aige agus sin scór all-in ón Lachúlaí ar yes. Agus an cé scór le Tamalín ó Hiberdoran.
Well, on a fasten, you know, Jack Shelley and son Kimi, they're just a voting and alive, and son, I guess, if a quick in Tom Fox, a Bulla Lloyd, and son, Helen Trust, non Countess.
Ard Cousins here in Shin, Michael Breen, Agus Imertine Tahon, Lon Hooley, Agus Bades, and Iber, who the kids of Machin Shaw, Bishta Shees, Agus Puxer, Brunta, and Shin, Erchion Maher, and Fell, oh, Paul Killeen, the guy of it, Agus Desh, Aiskin Shaw, Egg, Tower Doran.
Well, you know, didn't want to stick on son, Agus, just to Paul Clean and son, you Vista Cock, Evan Lee Road, and son, Agus, on Lee Road, on a come on, Chaston of Winneil and son of
Agus tá carta buí Hanahan Brunta Paul Killeen. Agus más rudé goin se ceann eile bé imacht.
Mi tóraigh mí nú go raibh a lámh nó ar a chamán Har of Winneil and son of
Agus sinné an darna carta buí agus an carta dearg ag techt agus in áíre is tubaiste atá an seo do minúí na Galway. A gatín inspiráideach ó mbliana agus an ára Paul Killeen in isise fágáil na parke agus cínta inis gur bíonn na Tipperary around na cutíntaach sa glufi seo.
Well, we did on in Ireland, can court the dialogue pitching just to, you know, say tackle Craig on a hand in a Tipperary, John McGrath, better go I'm shooting cool guy.
Well, been Hummer Drucky on the Marcus Amacha, Baiting an Irish off the John Ryan. Passing Dasashach, Shans at an issue, John McGrath, and Dolan throw Meechart, August Sean Ryan or Derry. August and Cian Shane, Currahar and Trust. Now, running sheet upper more meals of those Shane at the year. Deshin Sean Ishig, Brian Malloy, and Varnish and Eli Durish, Kakula Ward. August Tasha Shinzinta, Brian Malloy. August and Ish, cool Glan at the Ribberist.
Agus so they're not going to cool go in this an galibh mar tosan son caiisi bheith níos tósta leis an líróda chun siad isteach ní léon bhaithas just líróda bhúil isteach an son go fiáin mar a defa maní beag duine sa bhreise go Tipperary na gcónaí.
Barry Heffernan it's in the Gahanwa a ríist. Agus pass bag das tucky ag dá Stephen Cahill agus fel.
Tór an son ní le bhach sé sumt sa grim. Bhí fear Tipperary an cliste mar stop sé an ceart.
Agus
Don.
Sinna méile chúil agus Peter Chancel and shot Mark McCarthy expons gofuil Lewis Lasrach aige. Pass das amach Hans Peter ag Mar tucky susan is ag Sean Mar agus an ceann sin cura par an trastan ag ráfuoin sin is fáte ag an anna díach d'oibre sé chahan crú.
Na galibh is tar éis tí mas a céad begánaí.
Ceann sin builte ag John McGrath yes agus fóriil an uair sin ach tá Cúcín go bhfuil Sarah amsí ag ceann an imirt sa glufa.
We got a call agus in on the lads that need to draw hard and so if I so to make a buntage take customary Tipperary má hin se seo stach sa ceanol.
Sin ceann sin méile chúil Sean Sweeney ní féidir le aon den bhfuil isteach ar nóí ach cé os an bhrise sábailte a níos go híntach ag Paul Mar. Ó tá sé sin go híntach ar fad agus deire Ronan O'Mara le na chéad scór gon darna le trícín an online aige ceiricín atrabach sábailte go híntach ag Paul Mar.
Well, the lyric Paul Mar, Skillery, Shohi and Cooling, they tacked an issue on a Mar and Trio Kionach, Rivishin and son, Paul Mar, Kimi and so Hinishik tack just says talk all like a stack in Chinook Fishiani, Sluggers when the Shiana walk.
Hege, Neil, Cosentagama, Gronan Mar. Sean Ryan, Lekian, Fada Ella, talking a hint of finishing, John McGrath, Action score, Etach in Arena. Oh, the Hurling all should score into quick points at the Ribberist.
Well, Maladon, she's a kiss for Gary, or Coast and Son Mar, Ronan Mardon.
St. Flynn, Fiji Grusha, Garthdal, Unal, Ty Gallagher and Shinnig, Shadanish, Ty, Igdul Huntosagama, Rohor Bra, oh, Ty Gallagher, Skilling das Kafada la on far Lauren Shane Jack Shelley August Tasha Carahan Trasdoniga Nagro Share 4 Jack Shelley we should in the Keens ago.
Well, the Vuchana Lloyd and son August Rich and Chiniak meets a fit tour of Fisher Grey, August the law of who's again Logan passing son August not a force yet Cashe Stacker a have Lloyd and son August the Vuchana Lloyd August Chinan Dara Coolin to Dara Lang Tashi Gimmer Kamak Lawrence Mockton is Shea Coolin Contossing and Shake Tipperary and Olive.
Sean Lennon. Okay, Jack Shelley. Honica Shachanari is an action Gamor Salasha. On Tracy Aguera, Rudikins a Crow the Gala. Do you think it's Asaga? It's Aidan Higgins. Gus Erach Tarrant Rasnal and Shane. Oh, Aidan Higgins, Hossein, Kuik Quince is in the Fornia.
Aidan Higgins and son August Coolin Knox, you know.
Tipperary 216, Galway 114.
Dublin are a fantastic team. They're huge work underage. I did a bit of work with myself a few years ago, so look, I have a good understanding of what's happening there. Shea Bowen's a fantastic manager, so look, again, we're just looking forward to 3 weeks' time, and we'll reassess tomorrow morning, and we'll see where we go from there.
You have no gripes about the result. The better team won, and you know, the only reservation I have about the whole day is I saw a young fella being put off today on 2 yellow cards, and I thought the second one was, you know, it was harsh, severely harsh.
You sense there, Michael, Matty's biting his lip over the sending off, but he doesn't complain. To you, were Tip much the better team?
Well, they were the better team, certainly. I thought it was a fantastic game. 2 very, very good teams. Great skill. I was very, very impressed by the first touch. Even in the warm-up, I was watching the lads in the drill that they're doing, and very few balls missed. Great skill on both sides. Some great individual performances, and I think Matty probably justifiably annoyed. You know, I thought Paul Killeen, who to me, I was really enjoying his performance in there. You know, he's an old-style full-back, he's a well-built man, and he was bursting out with balls and bringing everyone with him. And you know, he was a wholehearted player, and it was a marginal free at best. And never mind send the young lad off. You know, especially, you know, we saw I think a lot worse strokes going unpunished in the senior match later on.
Okay, we'll look at that in a moment, Donald. But in fairness to Tipperary, when they were on top, I mean, they played great hurling, got some great scores.
They had, and you know, they moved the ball. I was very impressed with how they moved the ball all day long for minors. They looked for each other. They looked for when the sending off came, and you know, we're going to have a look at the first yellow. I mean, you wouldn't have too much, you know. That's a case of like stood his ground, but he leant into the man. The ball was last. Hit him. You're supposed to hit a player now, shoulder to shoulder, which is very, very difficult. You know, I mean, you know, but the ball just hopped in, and it seemed to hop on one of their heads, and both got entangled, and you know, both were looking for the ball, and it was a case of hands around each other. And
well, he's stopping him getting by, but it's not a yellow card.
Well, I think that's a legitimate tactic. You know, you know, for a man who played there, like we could say, you'd be delighted the ball's gone in, the keeper has it, and he'll clear it out to somebody. You know, and I thought it was very, very harsh. And then at the end, we'll say Jason Flynn, they were left with 5 players forward, and they just belted the ball forward really.